All right. We back. I'm gonna get in it real quick. See if I can knock this out. Lord willing, is still edifying. All right, I'm gonna get straight into it. So I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, or Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule what I teach, what I taught us the truth. And Hardy Shalom, I'm taught Aqua, Akim, Shalom. All right, so we're gonna get straight into it. We're gonna look at the different news and different articles we see here. Run through it real quick. Let's see what we got. All right, so the first one is this one. Let's get this.
Or fight unlawful conduct and keep individuals and community. New Jersey just proposed the ICE Act, which stands for Fight Unlawful Conduct and Keep Individuals and Communities Empowered. New Jersey, we're very clever. The bill would allow New Jerseyans to file civil lawsuits against government officials or ICE agents for alleged violations of U.S. constitutional rights during immigration enforcement actions such as unlawful searches, seizures, or detentions. It's not passed yet, but it's nice to see that good old-fashioned New Jersey charm in action. New Jersey just proposed the ICE Act, which stands for Fight
All right, so it says New Jersey Dems have to introduce a bill to protect residents from ICE, including the Fight Unlawful Conduct and Keep Individuals and Communities Empowered Act, which, when abbreviated, ends up spelling something very on brand for the Garden State New Jersey doesn't. All right, so I'm gonna get the couple of scriptures going into this because this is clearly biblical. All right, this is 2 Esdras 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that at the very same time, when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and upwards of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. So basically, you can clearly see that, we getting closer and closer to the so-called end times. Okay, if we're not already in it. You got a huge division between the people. You got ICE, you got, the people, you got the so-called, what do they call them, man? Foreigners, which a lot of these so-called Mexicans, Americans, they was here first. This is really they land. Okay, and when they say measured out the time diligently in itself, you see these different things on the news and you can tell, okay, I'm seeing earthquakes. It's more and more earthquakes every single day. It's more and more upwards of the people. Okay, we know that we're getting closer and closer to the end. You can clearly see that. It's so easy, man. Yo, man, this is America, man. All right, so let's get this.
This situation has gotten so much worse. Hannah Beachler, who's the production designer on Sinners, who was at the BAFTAs tonight, has confirmed that the incident in the slur with John Davidson was not the only occurrence. She posted this thread onto Twitter. I keep trying to write about what happened at the BAFTAs, and I can't find the words. The situation is almost impossible. It happened 3 times that night. And one of the 3 times was directed at myself on the way to dinner after the show. And a 3rd time at a Black woman. I understand and deeply know why this is an impossible situation. I know we must handle this with grace and continue to push through. But what made the situation worse was the throwaway apology of if you were offended at the end of the show. Of course we're offended, but our frequency and spiritual vibration is tuned to a higher level than what happened. I am not steel. This did not bounce off me, but I exist above it. It can't take away from him as an artist. I genuinely hate this for the.
All right, hey, so you clearly see it, man. This is Mark 3:24. All right, let's get for 23. And he brought them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. All right. So you look at America, you look at society, people are totally divided. You got certain people that's down with this, you got certain people that's down with that. Everybody's divided. Everybody got, different mindsets, different things going on. Just like if you have a household, let's say it's a man, woman, and a child. If the man is going one way and the woman is going the other way, soon the house is going to crumble. It's going to be totally destroyed. Okay, so it's the same with America. This place is literally going down the drain. Every single day, you see the division, you see the hatred between the people, and it's just
while presenting at the BAFTAs. Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo had the N-word shouted at them while presenting at the BAFTAs.
For a vital part of movie making. We're here to celebrate.
John Davidson, who was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome at 25, is the man who shouted this word. He's the inspiration behind the now BAFTA-winning film, I Swear, which follows the hardships of living with Tourette's and increasing awareness around it. So let me get this straight. Two very talented and successful black men had the N-word shouted at them on stage as they presented an award at a very public event by a white man with Tourette's. What do we even do with this information? If John Davidson was aware of the severity of his condition and that this even had a slight possibility of happening, why not stay home? Well, this is a tough one. For one, the man is nominated for an award essentially about his life living with this condition. He deserves to be celebrated. Two, we can't isolate people with disabilities. They should feel empowered to be out in public and represented without fear or shame. But should Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo have been subjected to this publicly on a night where they were meant to be celebrated? On a night where Ryan Coogler made history as the first black person to win the BAFTA for Best Original Screenplay. Black excellence is center stage during Black History Month, and still, we're reminded in the most brutal way of the pervasiveness of racism. Involuntary or not, it hurts just the same. I applaud Delroy and Michael.
You clearly see it, man. All right, so Michael B. Jordan and, the other guy was up there, Delroy Lindo. All right, they was up there getting an award. And some dude, he had Tourette's, he was a white dude. He basically said the N-word. All right, he said it a few times. So, people can take it as a assault. You can either take it like, he got Tourette's, he couldn't help it. Or you can take it like, hey, it's Black History Month, he's calling people the N-word, But like I said, this society is totally divided. All right, this is Psalms 73:5. It says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. So this white dude, he said the N-word or whatever at a event, and everybody like, oh man, no, he has Tourette's, it's totally terrible. But let's take it in a different instance. All right, let's say we had a black guy with Tourette's, all right, and we see him, in basically predominantly all white event, all right, and the black guy is screaming out racial slurs towards white people. All right, now I guarantee, all right, now most people are like, no, it ain't gonna be no different. It's gonna be a huge difference. All right, people is gonna be online. They're gonna make a big deal out of it. So the scripture is basically saying, it's not really like that on the other side. It's a lot harder for so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans because the society is against us. We got the curses against us, and it's just not our kingdom. You just have to understand, like, oh, on this side, I'm not gonna make it. To where, I'm on that level where my opinion counts. You ain't got the right skin, boy.
Quite a lot, and this was obviously very important for Tourette syndrome as well. Tonight, John Davidson was there, and in the broadcast, you could hear him shouting quite a lot, and some words that people will have found offensive.
Yeah.
What would you say about that?
Well, first of all, they're ticks. He's ticking, and we have to understand that the way we perceive Tourette's is.
Now, he could have easily said, you know what, we're sorry about this and that. It was highly inappropriate that it happened at that moment. But he does have Tourette's, you see. But he started off talking about some, oh yeah, he has Tourette's, and it's called tics. Like, look at this.
If our movies are part of that conversation, then that's a really incredible thing.
This was obviously.
All I'm saying is, it's weird, man. It's a little weird. Let's look at this, man.
Where you would put the coffee grounds, you close it. Your underwear. Where you would put the coffee grounds, close it.
A TikTok creator is facing a lawsuit after posting a controversial hotel hack online. Tara Woodcox, who describes herself as a health and nutrition blogger, shared a video showing people how to wash underwear using a hotel coffee maker while traveling. In the video, Tara explains.
Now, what the hell type of... Now, a big person be like, oh, that's not white people shit, but who the fuck do shit like that? Like, literally, you're putting fucking panties in a coffee maker. Like, what the fuck? it's certain things you just be like, that's not even right. Like literally, people use coffee to drink out of. Use it to drink. You don't put your panties in something like this. Now, the only reason I'm bringing up this video is to show you, you know, a lot of these different things that you use at the hotels or things that people, you know, touch or use. Other people are using it for totally different reasons, man. You know. Now imagine this: she's using the blow dryer to blow dry her pants or her panties. You know, it's just like, wow. So she's under $1 million lawsuit. You know, and not to say, you know, black people don't do weirdo stuff or, you know, our people don't do no crazy stuff. But I seen this, I was like, what the hell, man? You know, it's just it just comes to a point to where people are totally lost their minds. Like society is just breeding people that's just gotta go. Like this lady has to go. She cannot be a part of society, man. But let's get the next post, man. Look at this, man.
Files, rightfully so. The Olympics spectacle, slow nonsense, seeing people having discussions over West Palm Beach culture. Are you so for real? Let's talk about the reality of there's a very good chance that war is coming to our country. Our political class, both sides, spend decades building a structure that cannot.
Mexico used U.S. intelligence to kill one of the world's most powerful cartel bosses, and now the cartel is retaliating. Here's everything you need to know. So major events are unfolding in Mexico after a Mexican operation killed the country's most wanted drug lord, El Mencho. He is the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, the CJNG, and the cartel is furious. And cities like Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara, CJNG members have gone on a rampage. They're attacking some police officers, setting some vehicles, buses, and stores on fire, and blocking some roads in retaliation. So Mexican forces, with help from the U.S. intelligence, pulled this off. And previously, the U.S. had a $15 million bounty on the cartel leader's head. So the retaliation has caused some disruptions at places like Guadalajara's international airport, and the retaliation has led to some flight disruptions. Some airlines like Air Canada temporarily suspended flights to Puerto Vallarta, and the U.S. Embassy quickly issued a security alert urging American citizens in several states to shelter in place until further notice.
So it's going down in Mexico right now. All right, you heard what she said. It's a lot happening. Okay. This is Matthew 24:6. It says that you should hear of wars and rumors of wars. See, be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There should be famines, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So you see in these different countries, these different nations going against one another. That's another sign. Okay, we getting close to the end. All right, you seeing famines, pestilences, you know, new sicknesses, new diseases. You know, you're seeing an influx of earthquakes. The more you see it, the closer you know, all right, it's getting a little crazy. People are getting more wild. There's more shootouts, road rage. You know, more suicides, you know, you got more, you know, World War III talk, the MOTB being initiated. All these are just different signs. All right, look at this.
In Mexico.
What happened?
El Mencho was a former police officer and led the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. They were so powerful they had access to armored vehicles, RPGs, and even shot down military helicopters. And he was so dangerous he had a $15 million bounty on his head in the U.S. He's known to be the biggest drug trafficker in Mexico known to man right now.
How did they know where to find him?
Mexican security forces closed in after they found his location. But the firefight was so bad that even the Mexican army had to go to the hospital. El Mencho was shooting himself, so he got shot and died on the way to the hospital. And now mass violence is breaking out all over Mexico across 5 different states. They're shooting police officers, blocking roads, setting buses on fire, and many more. And it's so dangerous that tourists are advised to stay inside and not go outside.
How did this gang get so big in the first place?
He grew up in poverty and started trafficking illegal substances. He was even arrested in the U.S. in the 1990s and later deported, but then he joined a cartel called Mileno. After those leaders got arrested, he started his own cartel in the 2010s. Traffic meth, coke, fentanyl, and every other type of drug you can think of. To include kidnapping, torture people, ordering assassinations, selling large-scale firearms, and attacking the Mexican army. He was also known for ambushes on the law and mass unaliving.
So what's going to happen now?
Gang-related riots are taking place all over 5 states in Mexico. And it's rising fast, and it's also likely to just replace him with another leader. How the hell did he get an RV?
Yeah, man. So basically, Mexico is going down, man. All right. He said it in a funny way, but it's popping, man. You know, look at this, man.
That's crazy.
That's ice.
I know.
And just came over here and you went to the beer section. And
Hey, you start throwing. That's. Oh.
All right, people are losing their damn minds. All right, let me see if I can get this scripture real quick. All right, you seeing more and more people bugging the hell out, and that's why you gotta know these different scriptures. That's why you gotta keep the spirit. That's why you gotta pray, because a lot of people are about to start going crazy. They're not gonna know what to do, and these times is coming. You see people protesting for ICE, and they throwing beers, ceiling. These are kids. Let's get this scripture real quick. Right, this is Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So people gonna get crazy and crazier. All right, but it says, but he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Then this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So literally, we gotta push this truth. Warn the people and tell them, hey, things about to get real crazy out here, and now's the time to turn away from it. Look at this.
She had to shake crying.
Look at this.
He forced that man to give her a kiss. It'd have been a fade, bro. She had to shake crying. I'm about to play the video.
Do we have a connection?
Oh my God!
She had Drewski's feet in her mouth the night before. Then she said, you thought you was gonna tell me no?
You thought he was gonna say no to me?
Oh my God!
I ain't gonna lie, that's assault. I see some of y'all clowning, talking about some, it was just a friendly kiss. No. That's assault. I'd have been at that hospital so fast. Give me every medicine you have. You got a quarantine. Shawty has allegedly been with over 81 celebrities. And that's just the people we know. Oh my God.
Yo, I'm not trying to laugh at this because, hey, man, it's kind of messed up. But like, this is why my mind is so messed up in this society. This is why it's so hard for me to like settle with a woman or be with like a new chick or even old chicks. If you are with a chick, all right, some chicks, you meet them, you like, oh man, she's the best chick ever, love her. Now, this chick, he just kissed this chick. They said she been with over 81 celebrities, and that's just celebrities. It's not even like other people, whatever. 81 celebrities. The night before, she had Drewski's toes in her mouth on the Could Have Been Love show, and I seen that. I literally just had watched that. So to see her kiss the old boy in the mouth, it's just like, wow. You know what I'm saying? It's you just never know. Even with guys, it might even be guys out there. You never know. It's guys out there that's low trans. They into trans. They into being pegged. They into weirdo type tip. You just in this society don't know who you hooking up with or what type of deal you hooking up with. So if you beating a chick, don't be just kissing her on the mouth unless you know saying, or let's say giving your arm, unless you gotta do your research on these chicks, man, because like I said, this is crazy. My man started crying and he literally started freaking out because like I said, literally she just had a dude's toes in her mouth the day before, man. Let me see if I can grab this script. Say Leviticus 21:14, a widow or divorced woman or profane or an harlot, these shall he not take, but he should take a virgin of his own people to wife. So it was set up from the beginning for us to so-called get virgins. But we know, according to the scriptures, the Lord said we went off. We sinned against the Lord. So he caused our children to go through certain things, us to go through certain things. And our women, scripture says our women will be harlots. Now, women be like, harlot, why am, but according to reality, back in the old days, a lot of women, they would only like have sex with their husbands. It was very rare, that a woman would, get a divorce or leave a man. She usually back in the day, they get married to a man, they be with them forever type deal. But now it's like a hookup culture. Everybody smash, oh pass, smash, pass. So you just never know. You know, that's why STDs and things like that is at an all-time high. Because you got chicks like this running from guy to guy, putting toes in the mouth. She probably doing all type of other things to get money. You got chicks that go to Dubai to get pooped on, you know, to make some bread. It's just, and then, you know, she go over there, she go get pooped on, she come back, she look good, she, you know, smelling good, she got, you know, nails done, hair done, and you kissing on her, all type of deal, and you don't even know she was just getting pooped on, you know, 2 days ago. So reality is so messed up, man. You know, and that's why you have to do your research on things, man. It's crazy, man.
Vallarta. Explosions, gunfire, smoke everywhere. Super scary situation. Stay safe.
Again, this is in Mexico. This was happening literally yesterday. Okay, due to all the things we were just watching on the cartel, the U.S., the bounties, all that. All right, so it's only going to heat up more and more. Scripture says the third world coming quickly. Third World War III is coming, man. You know, civil war, race wars, gang wars. This is all coming, man. You know, it tells you that in 2nd Esdras. Let me read a little bit of it, you know, just to back it up, because I don't want it to seem like, you know, I'm just talking out of my butt, because, hey, this is something that's very well supposed to happen. All right? Man. Esdras 16 and 17, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? And we know the Lord's going to take care of us. You know, certain brothers going to get spiritual powers, other brothers going to be Gaia, you know, other brothers going to be, you know, hid in a bunker, whatever. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right, what you gonna do, man? You know, when people start bugging out, they shooting, killing one another, you know, the dollar crashes, you know, the power grid goes down. You know, a lot of people say, you know, oh, you know, but what they say, damn, cyber warfare is at an all-time high, you know. Keep saying World War III can very well touch U.S. soil, you know, so we don't know what we're in for, but, you know, we know according to scriptures how this thing is supposed to go down. Look at this.
Están incendiando carros. Ahí hay uno, ahí atrás hay otro. Se escucha como explosiones. Hoy. Y luego de acá viene más humo. Y allá hay más humo, como que están por todas partes los incendios. No sé qué es.
Fire everywhere. All right, this is what's coming, man. You know, total anarchy, total civil war, people bugging that out. It's been happening other places. It was in Venezuela. It's in Mexico. You know, it was in France. It was a whole bunch of different places that was catching, you know, civil unrest. Okay, but America's yet to be touched, man. But it's about to be touched, man. You know, regardless of it being, you know, a virgin according to scriptures. You know.
Sunday, the 22nd of say goodbye to TSA pre-check and global entry, and say hello to longer lines at the airport starting tomorrow morning, Sunday, the 22nd of February. It's Saturday, the 21st of February, and we've just gotten news from NBC News that the Department of Homeland Security is going to pause TSA pre-check and global entry starting Sunday the 22nd at 6 o'clock in the morning because of the partial ongoing government shutdown.
Now, I believe they worked out the kinks for this, but I'm just pushing the video so you can see what had happened. But I believe they already worked out the kinks for that. And if they didn't, hey, man, I know that's a lot of people that's having long lines. Look at this.
This is the Guadalajara airport.
Now think of this. All right. You never know when shit gonna hit the fan. All right. They in the damn airport. They ain't got no guns, no weapons. This woman is by herself with her son. Now, could you imagine how fearful she is right now? Now, let's take it a different process. Now, let's say if she had her husband or a man with her during this happening, she would be in a whole different headspace. You know, she'd have her, oh, yeah, come on, we going. She's over there with her son. She's bugging them out. Okay, this is something that could very well happen in America. Hey, people, I used to tell, he used to be a cop or whatever. There's a lot more sleeper agents, you know, as far as Iranians and things like, and people like that, you know, they could blow up something, they could hit a bomb, you know what I'm saying? They got all different type of artillery that they could do some crazy shit like this. All right, drones, you name it. All right, so you see the terror in her damn eyes, man. Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no be more called tender and delicate. So, yeah, America's never been touched, man. We has never seen, you know, civil war or, well, we've seen civil war, but we have never seen war on American soil. We have never seen, you know, total unlawfulness, total anarchy. And that's what the world is coming into. You know, if this economy keeps going down, you know, these businesses keep closing up, it's going to get savage out here. All right, you're going to see a lot more other women, even men. You know, scripture says the mighty men shall cry there bitterly. You know, and that's going into military men. Let's see if I can get that. The mighty men cry. She afraid, man. She's like, oh, no. You know her baby crying with her like, Mom. You know. Zephaniah 1:14, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. So it's coming, man. You know, whether we put it up or not. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. So even military men gonna be afraid. They're gonna be like, oh my God, I'm afraid, I'm scared. Hey man, it's about to be wild as hell out here. Look at this.
Mexican security forces killed the drug cartel boss El Mencho. And these are videos and photos being brought in by tourists who are actually in Mexico for vacation, seeing a lot of things now caught on fire. And this is what El Mencho looked like. The United States actually had a $15 million reward for his capture. According to Mexico's defense ministry, they said that he was taken out today during their own operation. The issue now is that the cartels are seeking revenge. Cartel gunmen started lighting things on fire, blocking highways, so that at least across 8 different Mexican states, they are starting fires like this. We are now hearing from the U.S. Embassy.
Man, the U.S. is a bunch of gangsters, man. How you gonna go to another country and assassinate somebody, put a hit on somebody, and then expect no type of retaliation? All right, man, I ain't got no more because it's just weird. I think that's weird that America does that. That's so weird to me. All right, but yeah, man, Mexico is going crazy because this cartel dude got hit. You know, it's crazy, man.
At people, this is absolute chaos due to the fact that El Mencho has been killed. That is right. The leader of the cartel was
killed. Yeah, one more article and then we're gonna close it.
I'm in Orlando, Florida. This is one of the busiest airports I have ever been to. I have TSA pre-check, and I've been waiting in line for a good 15, 20 minutes now. The standard line says 2-hour wait. Dude, this is...
Okay, guys, what's happening in Mexico right now is truly...
United Nations just officially declared that Earth has now entered a water bankruptcy, and they're saying that it might be impossible to reverse. So the United Nations just dropped a report basically out of nowhere, and the terminology that they're using alone is insane. They're now saying that Earth has officially entered what they're calling a water bankruptcy, and for many parts of the world, they say that the damage is already done. Okay. They're basically saying to think of water like it's a bank account, because rain and snow melt is your paycheck, and then groundwater and glaciers is your savings account. They say that we've been spending way more than nature is able to put back, and now we're draining savings that actually take thousands of years to refill. And here's where it gets insane, by the way, because they say that 70% of the world's major water supplies are all in decline. Half of all major lakes.
Hey, man, all you gotta do is watch the news. All right, so I'm going to close out with this, man. This second Esdras 15 and 14. It says, woe to the world, them that dwell therein. Woe goes into destruction. It says, for the sword in their destruction draw, nay, nuclear missiles drones, robo-dogs, World War III. One people shall stand up and fight against another. That's civil war, race wars, gang wars. Swords in their hands. A modern day sword is a gun. It says, for there should be sedition among men, uprisings, basically people going against one another, invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes. Your modern day king is a president, all right, or somebody like in a position like politics. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So every man for themselves. Everybody's going to, it's every man for themselves. I got a gun. You got a gun. I want that. I want this. It's everybody going to be taking care of themselves. There's the government. They can only go so far. If there was a let's say a cyber attack where all power got shut off or something like that. Because, they did say that the landlines or something in America is like old as hell, all right, and it needs to be replaced. He said that according to all other countries, America's electric source is from like 1960, 1950, so it's old. All right, everybody else's is updated, it's new. Ours can easily be thrown off. It says, a man shall desire to go to a city should be able. That's going into checkpoints. For because the pride of the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. People are going to be running, entering into their houses, shooting one another, taking food, whatever, doing whatever they want. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. You're not going to care about your neighbor. If my family is hungry, if they family hungry, the government, they the TV off, it's a total blackout, people gunning and shooting each other. You're not going to care about taking another man and his family out, because you want your family to live. So it's going to get grimy. It says, but she'll destroy their houses with a sword. They're going to come in with a gun and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread for great tribulation. So when it say lack of bread, it's not going to be food out here like that. When you look at these different stores and these different companies, they're shutting down like crazy. I can easily look up, let's see, before we shut it down. I show you like store closures. We got it. All right, so it says this was literally from 11 hours ago. Now this is heavy, man. This was in February 8, 2026. More than 1,200 stores are set to close in 2026. This was from today. It says closing city, going out of business, sales reach 80% as Love Furniture to close down 18-year-old location in days. Nah, that's talking about the store. Our Wendy's closing. See, restaurants will shut down. Wendy's is closing 300 to 600 stores. Walgreens layoffs and store closures. See the full list of closings in the article. Zales. Look at this one. This one just came out. It says of upcoming store closure. Approximately 5,000 positions nationwide will be impacted by store closures, most of which will occur in June. So if all these stores are closing, where you gonna eat? And where you gonna work? All right, this was February 4th, 2026. Pizza Hut to close 250 locations nationwide. What the hell is happening to America, man? All right. Domino's just revealed how it plans to win pizza wars after Pizza Hut store closures. Man, it's over, man. The American dream is gone. Rent is at an all-time high. It costs for everything. Look at this. 6 days ago, more than 1,200 stores are set to close in 2026. I can close the book on that, man. All right, and it's a scripture that goes into it. I should read it, and I'm done. But yeah, man, hopefully it's edifying. Shit. I know. I was trying to get on here and bring out some stuff, before I get in that. But this is 2nd Ezra 6:22. Now this is biblical, man. Stores closing and bankruptcies. This is all biblical. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. You might think, hey, this is forever. I got this forever. It's never gonna change. The day to day, the life to life. You wake up, go to work, come home, But no, everything is gonna change very soon. Is the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Now, the key word in that, it says the full storehouses. What's a storehouse? A store. All right, you got Target, Kroger's, Myers, Sam's, you name it. It says shall suddenly be found empty. So when are you gonna wake up? You know, these stores that you see, they're gonna shut down, or people gonna ransack it, or it's just come to a point where the trucks ain't gonna be able to bring in goods. You have shipping problems. That was just happening with tariffs. Okay, so it's many ways this thing could play out, but Lord willing, us edifying. You know, Lord willing, everybody, you know, got a little edification off of it. You know, appreciate everybody for watching. With that being said, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Meruah, teach what taught us his truth. And hearty shalom to all the Akim not tuning in. Man, hey, like I said, man, this place is going down, man. You can clearly see it. Like I said, you look up store closures, you can look up bankruptcies, even look at bankruptcies, because a lot of these different stores, not only are they closing, but they're also filing for bankruptcy. You know, they're like, oh, we're totally done. You know, police officers, they're saying it's a huge police officer shortage. You know, you look up shortages, you know, there's so many things that you can look up and be like, oh my God. You know, so I try to look at things and be wise to know, okay, in order for me to protect my child and protect myself and see how the world is, I gotta pay attention to how the world is going. Because even if you living your life, you enjoying, you working, whatever you're doing, you still gotta see, okay, this ain't gonna be forever, because things around me is closing up, you know. But with that being said, man, hey, shalom.